So now that we've dealt with the very simple case of single dimensional arrays, where we just have elements and we just have a single array, and then we have like data structured in a very linear way, or in a single dimension. Now I'm going to talk about multi-dimensional arrays, starting first with the n+1 or the second direction. So 1 + 1, that's 2 dimensions. So in the x direction and in the y direction. So one way, or why is this useful? For example, right, it has many very real world applications. For example, it's used in videos, in images, in financial data, mathematical and scientific computing, in dealing with matrices and databases, game development, and so forth and so on. So there are many applications, but it's not that complex, right? Once you know the base case, it's very easy to expand to equals, I don't know how many dimensions that you want, right? An arbitrary number of dimensions. So how would I represent the data here in the form of a multi-dimensional array, and a 2-dimensional array in our particular case? So let's just go let numbers array equals to, right, basic array notation, first row, comma, second row, comma, third row, comma. So first row would be this, second row would be the second row here, the third row would be the third row here. So now we just have to input the data, and notice that the data per row is basically an array in and of itself. So we go to something like 65, 16, 41, 36, 25, and so forth and so on. So I'm just going to pause the video here until I've entered all of this data. Okay, now that I've entered the data, okay, as you can see here, this will be the first row, second row, and third row. So for example, now, how would I access, for example, this number 74 here? And there's a cool way to do this. So I'm just going to go numbers array first. I'm going to go numbers array in the following way. So which is the first element, right, in the very first layer? Do I have to look at which index in the very first layer? So in the very first layer, I go index 0, then I go index 1, then I go index 2. So it's at index 2 in the first layer. Then I go to the second array. Now, which index is it? So let me just put this, it's at index 2 in the first layer. So which index would 74 be in the second layer? So 0, 1. So it's at 1. So we just put another open and closed square bracket here. So at 2, 1. So that will be the coordinates here. And let's just see what we'll display in our console if we did this. So let me just refresh this a little bit. And we got 74, exactly what we wanted here. Right, this is exactly what we wanted, and certainly this could expand to other arrays as well. So for example, you could have another array here within an array. So for example here, I'm just going to go another array here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3. And let's just say I wanted to access 3 here. So the way to do this is to go numbers array. The very first layer is at 0, right? And then there's an array within it. The second array is also at 0. So you go 0. And then finally, I'm in this layer now, and I'm looking at element 0, 1, 2. So should be 2 here. That's how you would access 3. And to test if this is correct, let's refresh our page. And there we go. So we've found 3. So that's how that would work. And you can certainly add more and more. You can add more layers here, for example, that you want to. But that's how it works. But once you know the basic array methods of how to declare, to define, how to access data, everything else is just easy from the basics. So that's how that works. Thank you very much.